They say it's not rocket science, but honestly, some parts of life really feel like it.
Welcome back to the Rocket Science Podcast Episode 4. You've all come a long way with us, and by now, I hope you know me. I'm Jasmine.
And as always, it's your friend Jack here. Glad you're back with us.
Well, today we're talking about things people love to argue about, but rarely trying to understand.
Yeah, man versus woman, same world and different battles.
Yeah, same society, same rules, but somehow completely different expectations,
Yeah, and most of those expectations, they didn't just appear, they came from tradition.
Yeah, exactly. And things like who should be strong, who should be patient, who should lead, and who should adjust.
And now, modern values are asking a big question. Do those rules still make sense today?
Well, or are we just following them because that's how it's always been?
So, if you ever felt like you misunderstood in a relationship, you've been pressured by society, or you're stuck between tradition and change.
Yeah, well, then you are in the right place. Let's get into it. Well, okay, from childhood, women are taught to feel that not too much. And I think men are taught to stay strong even when they are breaking inside.
Well, that's kind of true. A lot of men grow up learning how to hide what they feel and like not to deal with it very much. And when you're taught to be strong all the time, you don't really learn what to do and you know when you're not okay. And that pressure don't just disappear when we grow up. It follows men into adulthood, into relationships, and how we handle pain. The way we handle these situations is we don't very much speak into it. We mostly store inside many of the time, and then we use the energy, and maybe we turn that into anger. But sometimes we get angry pretty fast in those cases. So we angry a little bit time, and then we use that energy in making some other things. Really, if you're doing a physical job, you can use the energy in there. It will make you accomplish your job very faster and more efficient. That's how we handle that. And then after that, that pressure has been gone, so we can think about that again, and then we can solve the solution. That's how we actually usually do. We've been taught it's not like we've always been taught all the time. The way we have always grown up is not very much caring about our emotions. We don't put into priority. Mostly want to be happy. We always live freely, happily, and don't very much care about those pressure of society. So that's how we built Essential in the first place in childhood.
Well, I think I feel a bit sorry for you guys because I think, crying or like showing your emotions or talking about how you feel, it should be prioritized, because they are very important in our real life because it is, one of the way of communicating. And even though we are living in the same society, we're not raised the same way because for girls, we cry when we are feeling obsessed or when we are feeling emotionally hurt. And whatever we are feeling, we try to express ourselves in a way. We're not crying all the time, of course, but only when we are, overwhelming and we start crying and it makes us feel relaxed. For girls, from a very young age, there is this idea of being a good girl, like a good girl doesn't talk much, a good girl adjusts, a good girl helps everyone. And, somehow she is expected to do everything, like studying, working, taking care of the house, and manage emotions all at once. She's like multitasking everything, every single thing. She's expected to do some of the free labor things, That's how our society is seeing the girls. And then there are all these rules, that quietly follow her around. Like, you can't do this because you're a girl. You can't wear this. It's inappropriate and somehow like that. And you should do that because you're a girl. Those kind of rules started coming out and coming in. And if we take Myanmar as an example, like a lot of girls grew up learning very specific rules about who they are supposed to be. If you are going to be a housewife or if you're going to be a like worker or something like that. But no matter who you are going to be, at the end of the day, they think like the girls only belongs to the kitchens, So I think that's very sad reality because we're taught what we should do, like helping at home, speaking softly, dressing modestly, being patient, and always adjusting for others. I'm not saying that these things are not good. Of course, these things are like basic human needs and it's very good quality that a human should have. But what I am upset is that these things are only labeled to a girls only. Like there's diverse of genders discrimination. I believe that these are, basic human being. Both boys and girls should know how to do it, and there's no gender roles in here. And also, like, why at the same time, she's also expected to be emotionally understanding in relationships or in families, or like, to communicate better, to be patient, to fix things. Like, she's in charge of almost everything, like, at the very young age in Myanmar, like maybe traditionally, or because her family taught her to be that way. So I have these questions like for Jack. So do you remember the first time you were told you can't do that because you're a boy, that kind of stuff? Have you ever had?
Well, honestly, I sometimes I do have that kind of thing. It's like in some cases when I want something from my parents, I don't usually ask them because I know that they're not in the position of getting me what I want. So I gotta work myself to get what I want. Now, in terms of working me, it's not like actually working in labor, but actually, working in some other ways to get what I want. For example, in my childhood, I want this toy gun. We used to play with the toy gun all the time. When we were a kid, all my friends had the toy gun. I didn't have one, so I want one, but I don't want to ask from my parents because I know that they couldn't do that for me. So I gotta do it my own way. I made a competition with my friend. If I win this, I get your gun. So it's like that. It's like a deal, you make with your friends. So he got 2 guns, so he gave me 1 gun. So we all play with the gun together. So it's like since in the childhood, we don't always get what we want instantly. We have to work for it all the time. We got to work ourselves way to get what we want. In girls, it's way different story. But it's like for girls, it's like especially with the fathers are really attached to the girl very much. And if they want something, this specific thing, they always get whatever she wants. She's literally like a princess. That's what the girl should be. So it's like she get what she want most of the time easily. But for the guys, we don't usually get what we want. At the first, we ask for it. Later, we don't get it, so we don't want to ask no more. We don't want to pressure our parents too, so we get our own ways to get things done. Now, the way we have been raised, even though we're not taught exactly, but we have been raised to get what you want in your own way, not from others. We don't usually expect to get things from others. So the society has been treating these gender roles, as you mentioned before. So there's also some of the ways, some of the rules, some of the traditions are important. They're really good, like the way you dress, the way you behave. Like it should be different from a man and woman. It can not be same all the time because we are literally two different species. We are born different. We are made different. Everything is inside is different too. So it gotta be a bit different in some ways and there are many things that we can do that, but the woman can't do. There are many things that women can do, but we can't do. We're not good at those things. It's like vice versa. Is in a comparable way. So that's how the life is balanced. There are many things that we can do, but the woman can't. As for example, we see ourselves as a providers, and we see ourselves as the guy who protect the family and stuff like that. But the woman is mostly to care about the family inside. So outside and inside is different. So that's how we strength. That's how our strength it should be. So that's why the society and the family shaped us to be like that. Actually, not only society and family, our genes, our body actually shaped us to be like that. We, as a man, as a guys, we are not very much as patient as women. We get angry a little bit faster than women sometimes, yes. But some of us has like really big anger issues that we gotta fix that one too. So we have sometimes we get angry real fast. So in terms of little small things, we can't dive into it. We don't have much patience to do small little things. But the women, they are really care to the small details. When it comes to really big things, big decisions, big change, big swift, the men are very much capable of making an important decision. I'm not saying that women are not capable, but it's like the more effective way is to split the duties and split the responsibility to accomplish things in life to be balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that because, you said men and women are built differently. So, yeah, they're different in terms of physically, in terms of emotionally. They are different in every aspect of life. So, if we split our responsibilities and duties, then, it will be much more easier. I have this one experience of mine. I have been told when I was maybe grade 7. So, I have been told, I was like playing with the other kids on the street. It was the evening and I was so happy and I laughed out loud. It's like really loud laugh. I think it's normal, for a child, for a kid to laugh when she's overjoyed. So what I suddenly heard is like, someone behind me just shouted at me and saying, "You can't laugh loudly like that because you're a girl. girls doesn't laugh like that. They are quietly laugh so soft and they have to be quiet. I was a bit, a bit hesitate to respond to that words. I literally got lost at the moment because it felt like, all of a sudden it's because you're a girl, you can enjoy and you can enjoy the moment. That one little moment stuck in my mind, but I don't have like, some kind of angers or anything, but it's just, foreshadowing the reality of the people in the society because they see girls as their property or something. If you're a girl, then you can't speak, you can't interact in the group of people while men are discussing. So that kind of restrictions, I think that's really completely wrong ideas of, to spread into the human society because speaking loudly or like laughing loudly, it's not appropriate for both boys and, girls because it applies on both sides. I don't really understand why they have to like differentiate that little basics of human needs to become a bigger gender rules. So I think that is in even not only in Myanmar, I think it's in most of the countries that applies, that is happening like that.
Yeah, I see in the movie is like in the British movie they taught the girl to be laughing like no ha 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 like that. Ho, 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 like they gotta cover their mouth and laugh like that. That's so weird.
How do we laugh? We laugh politely. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I know that movie too. It's so weird. In that movie, the actress just literally violated that rules because she wants to be free. She wants to be like the others. Like girls are not asking to be equal or with a man, like equally fit, equally everything. Because equality is not we have to get everything what men are getting, or men also have to get everything what women have to get. But what we are asking is basic rules. Like if you're a boy, then you have to know how to cook, how to clean the house, and how to do the house chores. That's basic human needs. It's not related to whether you're a boy or you're a girl. You have to do this because that's people should learn, as a basic human needs. So, but not just lately, like back in the day or now modern days, people stay justifying these things. They stay separate rules like house chores and kitchens are only for the women and men do not belong to that. So that kind of stuff. If we go back to the earlier conversations, we said if we do separately, then it would be much more easier. Yeah, I said it before too. But that's a different story, right? There are so many situations but what I'm saying is that every human should know basic rules and basic needs, right? Whether they do it or not, it comes later, right? So at the first place, you have to know it.
Yeah, maybe that is one example that I can give about this situation is that Einstein, we know that Albert Einstein is the biggest scientist in history. So one reporter asked him, how many foot in 1 mile, I guess? Einstein said, yeah, I don't know. A reporter asked, you're the biggest scientist in the world. You don't even know that basic stuff. You don't know? He said, I don't need to know. I can literally check the books. And I can literally open the books and I'll find this little thing. What I've been doing, what I need to know, I've been doing biggest example, biggest equations. I've been calculating them way bigger than these things. I don't have much time to learn about these small little basic things. That's what he said. It's the same concept, but in this case, it's a bit different matter. The way it should be is like the basic concept of these things should be able to do these things. But when it comes to responsibility and roles gendering, in gender roles, it should be what we are more strong suits are. What we are capable of most. Some of the cases, men are really good at cook. When we look at the world, most of the famous cook in the world are mostly men. I don't know why is that. Mostly men. They're really good at cooking. The biggest chef is, for example, Gordon Ramsay is one of my favorite chefs. He's also a man. So there are many famous chefs and many famous cooks are men. But for some men, maybe they're not good at cooking. For some men, they're good. So it's like we gotta split on like what we do the best. In some cases, you're good at keeping things tidy. You have to do this thing. You're good at things. If you're good at making your dreams come true, or maybe like making like big potential in your family, providing, you have to do this stuff. If you're good at listening to people, if you're good at helping people, caring people, you have to do your strong suit. For men, we don't very much care about the people like the women does. We also care, yes, but we don't usually show how much we care to the people. We do that in the smaller actions. We do that in the smaller actions, like as fathers don't usually say I love you to the baby. So because not the baby, the kid, when they start to speak maybe around like in a teenager age, they don't say I love you no more but they show it in some other ways. Like when the dad is eating, he feed his kid some of his snacks like that. His way of showing affectionate to his baby, to his child.
Yeah.
So it's not like directly saying the word "I love you," but indirectly saying, showing how much he loves, like the way teaching him how to do this stuff, teach him how to like play guitar, how to drive a motorcycle, how to drive a car. That's also a way of showing love too, but not directly saying as mothers to their children.
Yeah, but I think it's also very important to be emotionally, attached with your children because for a father, of course, like you said, they don't show emotions. Like if they love their children, they don't say it. But I think it only applies to the Asia country because in Western country, I usually see in the movies like they say these "I love you" and "thank you" and hugging and everything. Their family cultures is very close. Rather than Asia countries, that's two different things. On the other hand, I noticed that you said we should do what we are good at, what we do best. Well, in cooking, I think at least you should know how to fry an egg, right? It's not that difficult. Yeah, it's a rocket science. You should learn how to fry egg properly, maybe so that you won't go to sleep without hunger when your girlfriend is upset or something like that.
Okay, or you can buy something, you can order something, you know what about it?
Oh, yeah, what about, ordering healthy, right?
Hey, well, if our girlfriend or maybe someone is, sick or something, we like to make something for her ourselves, it's maybe our way of showing affectionate.
Yeah, okay, all right. But, ordering foods from outside is not a healthy option. If you want a healthy relationship, then you need to cook a little bit, not cooking problems, but cooking real food.
Wait, cooking problems? How you cook problems?
Like you guys maybe sometimes fight. If you do fight, then you're cooking, it's like cooking is like cooking problems. Don't cook problems, okay? So I don't know, like why do men feel pressure, sometimes to fix problems instead of just listening? I think men are not really good at listening. I don't know, but I feel like that, most men doesn't really listen because this experiment that women say we have to repeat our sentence like maybe twice, 2 times, because you guys don't listen. And then the guy asks, what again? And, the girls are like, exactly, we have to repeat every single word twice because you guys are not listening. So why is that so?
Well, that's the case is that when we talk to our guys friends, we talk extremely directly way. When you guys talk, it's not direct, it's really indirectly, like circling back to the things. It's not easily understand. We're like men are basic human beings, we understand basic stuff. We understand direct approach, we need to be speak directly, not in direct way all the time. Sometimes we understand, but sometimes we don't. And so you gotta explain to us, sometimes, because our way of communicating is quite very simple. If you say you're fine, then yeah, you're fine. We're gonna play some game. That's it. But you're not actually fine. If whenever you guys say you're fine, you guys are not fine. But I don't know why you guys just say fine. If you don't fine, just say not fine. Then what's the problem? Then we can solve the problem. But you guys say not in a direct way, indirectly way, or saying opposite way, literally opposite way. If you say yes, the answer is no. If you say no, the answer is yes or maybe. I don't know how to understand these kind of conversational twist. It's actually very twisty.
It's not twisty, actually. I think it's not that difficult to understand girls' language. You just have to notice the tone. The tone changes. Over text messages, of course, you can't know. But I mean, it's really quite sure to know, if we say like, I'm fine, and then it's totally not fine. I mean, we won't even say that we are fine. We'll just say, we will just keep talking with you. But if we are not really fine, then we'll say that we are fine. I mean, it's not that difficult to understand. I mean,
for you guys maybe, but for us is we would study rocket science, literal rocket science, rather than studying women. That's really saying that.
Oh, that sounds interesting and also very, very painful to hear that. Okay. So men and women are, yeah, of course, they are completely different species and with different emotions. And it's sometimes there might be conflict to understand each other, so when relationships don't work out and then they start a breakup because of these emotional conflict and because one seeks for emotional intelligence and one is emotionally detached. One of my friend, of course, our friend, he was also being damned by her girlfriend, sorry to reveal this, but we have to, So, okay. It's not lifelong problems, when we grow up and we will eventually learn, we will become more mature and we will understand each other's feelings and we will understand each other's struggles and what we are facing, what we are challenging in our daily life. because like you said, men have different pressures, over these family expectations, and because men are being expected to be more financially stable, while women are expected to be home stable, like a housewife. So maybe we should not carry these things to our future generations because there are a little bit toxic social norms in here. So when we talk about men and women facing different battles, we're really talking about something deeper than gender.
We're talking about where those expectations come from in the first place.
Yeah, like most of the rules we have been discussing, who should adjust, who should lead, and like who should stay quiet, didn't appear overnight.
Yeah, the thing about the woman has been oppressing has been, it's been ages in the 18th century, 17th century. They've been oppressed. They're right. They can't speak louder in front of men. They can interrupt the man while they're speaking. Like that, those things have already been stopped for years now, for a decade now. So the women need to speak out more about their opinions. They need to express their own oppression, express their opinions, express their perspective on specific objects, specific things. So the world is changing back into that, but at the same time, it turned back into a little bit of toxic when it comes to those kind of roles things. So as I mentioned before, it should be like we cannot always deny what we are made to be. We are made to be is what we become to be. So we can't always deny that fact, but also at the same time, we have to be caring each other all the time. So that's what made a perfect couple, But there is no such thing like a perfect couple. Like, there is a such thing like perfect in the world. So everything is imperfect. But what that imperfect makes perfect, that's the saying. So
Yeah.
we need to focus on each other activities, on each other, what they're doing, how they're feeling. But, they got to speak too. When you guys speak, just trying to speak more clearly a little bit. Not very much into confusing part. We get confused pretty fast when we talk to you guys. So don't talk it in a very confusing way. Maybe explain it more clearly to us. We can give advice or solutions, or we can, provide you with it emotionally. In terms of emotional intelligence, you guys are way better than us. That's why you guys mess with our minds all the time.
Because we are naturally caretakers. We already have this mindset of taking care of emotionally. So it's not surprising, why we have emotional intelligence and why we tend to more mature than women. Than men, of course. One thing that we can't neglect is that how we have been raised, like traditionally, we also carry these our own culture and traditions, and so these all these genders and separate rules not magically appear suddenly. It's been like decades. We are carrying these traditions with us, and now we're living in a time, where modern values are starting to question those traditions. Like, let's say, back in the day, like 18th centuries, if you ask those women whether they want to be in this modern world, and they might, I think most of the women say no, because nowadays, women are more, how do you say, like in clothing and everything, it's more free and it's more a little bit dangerous as well. But everything comes with pros and cons. So I think if we compare both era, there are like some are good and some are not good. So, whether we are still carrying these traditions to our modern world, or should we, drop these traditions completely?
Yeah, I believe that we gotta take what best in them, In Asian traditions, there are mostly things are not good, but there are things that are good too. That we gotta take what goods from them, and we gotta take what goods from today's age, and we can combine them, and then we can make a perfect relationship between those. So I think that's how we should build our expectations. We should not always force or pressure ourselves by society. We can't let society force you. You gotta put pressure on yourself, not by society. I usually do that. I put pressure on myself. What are my responsibility? What should I be for the family? Stuff like that. So I put much pressure on myself. I think it's quite a bit more healthier than taking the pressure from society, because you can lower your pressure to yourself too. If you're giving yourself a pressure, you can lower your own pressure. So it's a bit more healthier, and it can encourage you to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, the point is that you don't have to care about society. I mean, not completely, but if the society is giving you too much negativity and too much stress and too much anxiety, then you should neglect it, because that's not a healthy society that you should seek for. So And when it comes to these modern values and these traditional values, I think there are often like these clash, with older generations because they are very strict with their traditions and with their culture. They are very serious about it. They don't even want to change a thing with these young people. So when they meet in these modern wars, and it started being like revolutions, or it started becoming, big problematic, and these young people started blowing up and started, pissing off, and they started raising their voice and changing these traditions. But eventually, these older generations have to give up.
Yeah, because we live in a world that is changing all the time. Every second it's been changing and evolving. So the change comes with the questions too. Whether the change is necessary or whether the tradition needs to be kept. Some of the traditions need to be kept. Some of them need to be evolved. Some of them need to be completely disappear. We gotta know what is your background. Based on your background and based on your beliefs, you gotta decide whether these traditions are acceptable to you or not.
Yeah.
It's to reflect, question, and choose what truly help us grow.
Yeah, because everything is evolving, and while it is evolving, we also have to be careful not to lose the meaning of what we are carrying. We also have to carry these traditions, but not fully. What is good for us only. Okay, so yeah. So today's conversation wasn't about choosing sides. Man versus woman. No, it's not like that. It's tradition versus modern values. No. So it was about understanding how deeply these ideas, shape our lives, our relationships, and the way we see each other. Because we all come from traditions that give us identity, comfort, and direction. So, yeah.
Yeah, so the same responsibility is to listen and to learn and to respect each other. So thank you for being part of this conversation.
Yep. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Rocket Science Podcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Because it's not rocket science. Oh, wait, it actually is.